Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Hey, how's it going? I'm doing well. I hope you are doing well as well. Today I have, once again, another installation in what is going to be the longest series by far that I've ever uploaded on my channel. And the goal here is to not give up, just persevere. If you have ever completed a sketchbook, every single page, you will know how much of a chore it can be. Not a chore in the sense of, I'm dreading doing this, but a chore in the sense that it is going to take a very long time and a lot of dedication. And oftentimes, as tempting as it is to buy a brand new sketchbook just to have a fresh start and kind of move ahead as an artist, and whenever you get new art supplies, it's always nice because it's kind of like a good motivational tool. Sometimes it can be expensive. Art supplies are not cheap usually if you want good quality supplies, but it definitely does come with a little spurt of motivation to kind of get the creative juices and oozes and lumps and bumps flowing and growing. So it's nice, but in this instant for myself, that will not be the case. And usually I don't do that. Usually I try to finish the sketchbook that I'm working in or working on, and once I'm done, I move on to the next. But for this case, I will be working primarily in this sketchbook. And as said before, I'm using three main, actually only three different mediums. One of them being a pencil, so graphite. Then I'm using some charcoal and some colored pencils. And with this one, I started this drawing with a technique that I recently I've attempted a few times, and it normally works well for me, but this time I took a Pokemon makeup brush from the year 2000 that I found at an antique store one day, and just bought it because I like Pokemon. I didn't know what to do with it, so I decided to use it for art, and so I put some graphite or some charcoal, I guess, on the end of it, and just kind of made some marks on the paper and made those marks into the drawing. And I did that in either the video before this or the one before that, and it worked well for me. If you're ever having, I think there's a couple names for it. It's like the fear of the white canvas or something. That's a good way to get over it, is just making the canvas a little dirty, and then you're not as intimidated by it. So that's what I did, and I worked with it. I worked around it. I also went in with the actual piece of charcoal and just made a couple quick, very subtle and small marks just to have something on the piece of paper. So I went into this drawing, of course, as all of the other ones, with literally no idea in mind, and it quickly turned into this like beetroot shape, and with fingers for some reason. I don't know, it's just how it happened. And if there's anything that I've learned with my art specifically, is to not fight the drawing, just work with it and work through it, and just kind of do what it wants you to do. You can't force anything, which is something, sometimes you have to learn the hard way. But if you just keep going with the flow and let the drawing take you, I'm normally happy with how the results are. And with my beetroot hand, I think it turned out well. I did plant this beetroot hand, and I don't have any video footage, but I am starting to have some sproutlings of little fingernails coming out of the dirt. So I'll keep you updated on that and let you know. I don't know exactly what's going to grow out of it. I've never planted a beetroot hand, but I'll let you know if it's either a finger, maybe a full hand. I don't know if it's going to be a human hand or how many fingers it's going to have. Maybe I'll grow an entire entity or maybe a whole person. I don't know. That's the exciting part, you know. You just kind of, you plant it, and I sing to it daily. I give it plenty of darkness. I make sure it has no sunlight at all, and I feed it Coca-Cola. And it's doing well so far. You know, it's happy. It smiles at me when I walk by. So, yeah, it's doing well. I'm proud of it. I'll let you know how that goes. But as for the drawing, I kind of got away from me a little bit towards the beginning when I started. I started with like that outline and with the charcoal, and then went in with like the darker, and I just really wasn't liking it too much. So I went back in with the pencil and kind of did a little bit more blending and made things kind of work together a little bit more. So it's kind of really high contrast in some areas where the shadows are, and I like it. I'm not mad at it at all, and I think the drawing of it looks good. And usually once I get it to where I like the drawing part is when I go back in with the colored pencils and kind of. I've noticed I've been using the colored pencils more of a tool to bring out the highlights, which is interesting. I don't know why I do that, or if that's what you're supposed to do with colored pencils, but I don't think I'm using them wrong, but I don't think I'm using them traditionally. I guess that it's weird. I'm working on it, okay? It's something that I don't have a lot of practice with, so, you know, whatever happens, and I'm not going to be mad at it. I'm just going to kind of learn as I go. That's what I have this sketchbook for. I'm going to make over 100 drawings of using mediums like colored pencils that I'm not horribly familiar with, and until I get hopefully comfortable with them. As for charcoal and graphite specifically I'm very comfortable with, and charcoal I'm somewhat comfortable with. I like charcoal. It's one of my favorite mediums, but I haven't used it a ton. I just like it. And then I guess I want to go ahead and call myself out. The video quality, so I recorded with my phone, and I realized that after I recorded this, my video stabilization was on, which is what I think is causing all of the very minor, I want to say shakes, but it's more like small movements over the course of time. It's very unnoticeable in real time, but once you speed it up times 500 or times 750, it gets a little bit more out of control, and it's annoying. So I think I fixed that. Hopefully the next drawing that I record will not have that. So if you're getting seasick, my apologies. That's not something that I wanted to happen to you. I promise I'm not trying to sabotage anyone here. Seasickness is kind of weird. I watched something to do, I think it was like Pawn Stars or something, and they had a coin with some boats on it, and it made me realize how rocky riding on a large ship would be. And I wonder how many people are just like flying around the ship, falling, bumping into each other, probably starting fights. I don't know. Well, I guess they always talk about having sea legs. Is that a thing? Do you just get used to the ground moving violently under your feet at all times? Is that just? I guess humans can really get used to anything if they try. So who knows? If you are a pirate or maybe a parrot, let me know. Do you, when you're on the hunt for the booty, do you rock rock and roll on the ship? Does it rock beneath you? Do you have trouble with that? Leave it in the comments below. I'm very interested. As for the colors in this drawing, I wanted to keep it kind of rooty and kind of fleshy, so I went with some reds and some purples, and then added a little bit of yellow on the fingernails because I wanted my beetroot hand to have jaundice. So, and something that kind of bothered me is the charcoal and the graphite got on my fingers, and I made some marks on the paper. And before I shot the B-roll, I was going to go in and erase those, but I decided not to. I think it's a part of the drawing now. You know, don't fight it. Just go with it. Let what happens happens. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to watch me struggle in this journey to completing the sketchbook in the future, be sure to subscribe. And until then, I will talk to you maybe later.